What's going on, everyone? Marty here from PyXM.com. Today is day 29 of our 31 winter backpacking tips in 31 days. We're nearing the end of this series where my goal is to make sure I can basically give you and teach you everything I've gathered, or a lot of what I've gathered through trial and error for the past 15 years. And my ultimate goal is that if you've never been out on your first winter backpacking trip or winter camping trip, hopefully after watching all of these tips, it's going to give you the confidence that you need to start with a simple overnighter, even if it's in your backyard. And to help you out with that as well, I've put together a winter backpacking gear checklist. It's free, and you can get it over at pyxm.com/winter gear checklist. So make sure to check this out. Today, I want to talk about how to treat your water. If you're going for a simple overnight, this might not be useful to you right now, because you should be able perhaps to pack out all the water that you need, and with all the techniques that I've taught you, kind of manage your water so that it doesn't freeze on you and you should be good to go. But if you go for multi-days, at some point you're going to run out of water, because you don't want to be bringing too much. First, it's heavy. Second, eventually it's going to freeze on you regardless. And so you're going to want to be processing water. If you're used to going summer camping, you're probably used to using a different filtration system, and filtration system can work well in the winter if it's not super cold. But I typically end up going when it can be up to -30, -40 degrees Celsius, and what that's going to create to your filter, it's going to freeze your filter, it's going to damage it, and it's not going to be working for you anymore. And after you use it once there's water in it, it's going to freeze it, and once your water filter freezes, it is recommended that you do not use it anymore, because it might have broken, as water freezes, it expands. It could have broken some of the mechanism inside to filter your water. So I typically don't bring water filters in the wintertime. I find it too risky. I know some people sleep with it, keep their water filters on their body at all times to keep it from freezing. It can certainly work, and if you're comfortable with that, that's great, but I have a technique that I found that I really, really enjoy. So at the beginning of this series, I told you guys, make sure to camp near or where you have access to running water. And one of the reasons why is because if you have access to a stream, what I typically do myself is I'll fill up my water bottles, my Nalgene or my kettle, and what I'll do is I'll warm up the water just a little bit. I won't boil it, because boiling the water costs me too much fuel, especially if I go on multi-days. But I'll warm it up, and what I'll use is Aqua Tabs. And the reason why you need to warm up the water is that these Aqua Tabs will treat in about 30 minutes easily a liter of water by throwing in, I think it's 1 or 2. Just make sure if you get your hands on some of these Aqua Tabs on Amazon, obviously read the instructions. I typically put 2, but I do believe that it's overkill for a liter. But regardless, these Aqua Tabs, what they need to do is they need to dissolve and kind of do their thing for 30 minutes. But the problem is that when the water's too cold, they don't dissolve. So all I do is I warm up a little bit of the water, not so it's boiling, not even near, just so it's room temperature really, and then I throw my tabs in there. I close it up, I shake it, I put it, maybe I hold it in my parka so that it doesn't freeze on me, so it doesn't get too cold, or I put it in a sleeping bag, whatever I do while it's treating. And this is just a really fast and efficient way to save fuel, but also time to treat running water without running the risk of freezing your water filter. Now, another technique, you can do the same thing with snow. So if you're melting snow, instead of bringing it to a boil before it's drinkable, just make sure that it comes down to room temperature, and then you can use these tablets to then basically treat your water the same way. This has been, ever since I've started to do this about 4 years ago, I would say, this has been a game changer for water management for me. So hopefully you found some value into this. Make sure to get your hands on my free winter backpacking gear checklist over at pyxm.com/winter gear checklist, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 30 of our winter backpacking tip series. Peace.